My dear friends, brothers, sisters, if these words touch your heart, don't forget to subscribe and join this journey of light and purpose. Let today we talk about cultivating inner paradise, the daily reality. What if paradise isn't a destination you reach after death, but a dimension you awaken within yourself right now? My friends, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and imagine a place of peace so powerful that no chaos in the world can touch it. A place where storms may rage outside, but inside you there is only calm, clarity, confidence. That place is not somewhere on a map, it's inside you. It's your inner paradise, the space where your mind, heart, and soul align in harmony. And the truth is this: you were born with this paradise inside you, but over the years you forgot it was there. Society taught you to look outward, to chase money, to chase approval, to chase success, to scroll endlessly, comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. And in that chase, many of us lost our peace, we lost our center. We lost the feeling of being truly alive. But today, we begin to take it back. Today, we'll learn that paradise isn't something you wait for. Paradise is something you cultivate daily, intentionally, courageously. Let me ask you a question, and be honest with yourself. How many times have you told yourself, when I get that promotion, I'll finally be happy. When I find the right person, I'll finally be fulfilled. When I move to a new city, then I'll start living. Sound familiar? We all do it. It's the biggest lie the modern world sells us, that paradise is a product you can buy, a person you can meet, or a place you can go. But here's the truth that hits harder than any motivational quote. Nothing external will ever fill the void that's meant to be filled from within, because external success without internal peace is still failure. We've seen it. People who have everything the world could offer, yet feel empty inside. Millionaires with restless minds, influencers with anxious hearts, celebrities with sleepless nights. They've conquered the world, but lost their inner world. And then there are those who have very little, yet their eyes shine with joy, their laughter heals, their presence brings calm. So what's the difference? It's not their possessions, it's their perspective. They've discovered what I call the inner algorithm of paradise and changed their future by merely changing their attitude. That's inner paradise in action. Or look at Steve Jobs, a man who faced public failure, illness, and exile from his own company. Yet when he returned, he said, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life." He wasn't chasing paradise outside. He decoded it within through purpose and awareness of mortality. So here's your question today. What code is your mind running on? Fear or faith? Stress or gratitude? Judgment or compassion? Because the outer world reflects the inner one. Fix the internal code, and the external begins to respond in kind. You don't need a mountain, monastery, or meditation retreat to experience paradise. You need 3 gates, 3 daily disciplines. Let's walk through them. In a world addicted to motion, stillness is rebellion. Every morning before the noise begins, take 5 minutes, no phone, no news, and no distractions. Sit, breathe, feel your heartbeat. You're alive. And that's already a miracle. When you learn to sit in stillness, your thoughts stop chasing each other like wild horses. Your mind clears, your soul whispers. You begin to hear what's always been, the quiet pulse of peace. Tony Robbins calls this the hour of power, a ritual of silence, gratitude, and visualization. He says, if you don't have 10 minutes for your life, you don't have a life. Stillness is not the absence of movement, it's the presence of awareness. Paradise begins where gratitude begins. You can't feel fear and gratitude at the same time. Your brain simply can't process both. So every day, name 3 things you're grateful for and mean them. Not, I'm grateful for my house. Go deeper. I'm grateful for the roof that kept my family safe last night. I'm grateful for the sound of rain. It reminds me I'm alive. I'm grateful for my mistakes because they made me wiser. When you start seeing small miracles, the big ones start to happen. Dr. Yonggi Cho, founder of the world's largest church, once said, "Faith is seeing the invisible, believing the incredible, and receiving the impossible." Gratitude is that faith in action, the ability to see paradise before it fully appears. You cannot have peace without purpose. Purpose is not what you do, it's who you become while you do it. It's the why behind your waking up. Ask yourself, what impact do I want to leave today? Not someday, today. Even the smallest act done with love has eternal ripples. A smile to a stranger, a kind word to a coworker, a moment of patience with a child. That's paradise in motion, because paradise isn't a place, it's a vibration, an energy that moves through you when you act with intention and compassion. Let's take a story closer to home. Maya Angelou, a woman who faced racism, abuse, and silence, Yet she turned her pain into poetry, her trauma into triumph. She once said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." That's what inner paradise looks like. Not escaping life's storms, but learning to dance in the rain. You see, America's greatest figures, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Eleanor Roosevelt, from Nelson Mandela to Tony Robbins himself, all found the same truth. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of purpose. Tonight, before you sleep, write in your journal, what moment today brought me peace? What disturbed my peace? What can I do tomorrow to expand the first and reduce the second? Then whisper to yourself, paradise lives within me, and I am its gardener. That affirmation, repeated daily, rewires your brain. It becomes your new mental code. You start to live paradise instead of chasing it. My friends, the brief summary, paradise is not waiting for you on a distant shore. It's waiting for you in your next breath, your next thought, your next act of kindness. You don't need to change the world to find peace. You need to change the lens through which you see the world. When you cultivate stillness, gratitude, and purpose, you don't just find paradise, you become it. And when you become it, you transform everyone around you, because peace is contagious. And the more of us who live from that inner paradise, the more this outer world begins to look like heaven. We live in a world that teaches us how to make a living, but forgets to teach us how to make a life. Pause and let that sink in. You can have a full schedule and an empty soul. You can be surrounded by people and still feel utterly alone. You can own everything and still feel like you have nothing. Why? Because we built our happiness on a mirage, a glittering illusion that fades the moment we get close enough to touch it. That illusion is the belief that happiness is found outside of us. Every advertisement you see tells why. The same lie in a different outfit. You'll be happy when you have this. You'll feel complete when you look like this. You'll be enough when others approve of you. And we chase that mirage like thirsty travelers in a desert, running, grasping, panting, believing that this next thing will finally quench our thirst. But every time we reach it, it vanishes. We buy the thing. We achieve the title. We post the selfie. And for a moment, yes, there's a spark, but then it fades and the emptiness returns deeper this time, because now we've tasted the false sweetness of illusion. That's why so many people are exhausted, not physically, but spiritually. They're running on empty, chasing a version of paradise that can never satisfy the soul. Inside each of us, there are two voices. One says, if I can just get more, I'll be happy. The other whispers, if I can just be more present, I already am happy. The first voice is loud. It's the voice of the world. Advertising, social media, comparison, ego. The second voice is quiet, but it's the one that tells the truth. That quiet voice is your inner compass, your soul's signal, your direct connection to peace. And the tragedy of modern life is that we've learned to silence it with noise. The great American author Henry David Thoreau once said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with the song still in them. That song is your inner paradise, your truth, your joy, your purpose waiting to be sung. Let's look at one of the most powerful psychological truths discovered by modern research. Beyond a certain point, more no longer equals better, according to studies from Princeton University. Once your basic needs are met, food, safety, health, connection, additional wealth or possessions contribute almost nothing to your long-term happiness. Why? Because the human brain adapts. We normalize blessings. We get used to miracles. The first time you buy your dream CR, your dopamine spikes. But 6 months later, it's just the car you drive to work. The first time someone praises you, your heart races, but a few weeks later, you're already hungry for more likes, more followers, more recognition. That's the treadmill of external happiness. Always running, never arriving. The antidote is simple but radical: stop running. Let's take a real story. One that shook Hollywood. Jim Carrey, one of the most successful comedians in American history, once said, I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer. At the peak of his career, awards, fame, money, fans, Jim fell into depression. He realized that no matter how much he achieved, it didn't silence the ache inside. So he turned inward. He began exploring meditation, spirituality, and self-awareness. He started speaking about consciousness and gratitude, not as a celebrity, but as a human being seeking truth. That shift from external success to internal fulfillment was his awakening. He stopped chasing paradise and began cultivating it. Here's something Tony Robbins often teaches. Where focus goes, energy flows. If your focus is on what's missing, your life will feel like a constant deficit. If your focus is on what's abundant, your life will overflow. This is called the law of substitution. You can't think two opposite thoughts at once. You can't focus on gratitude and resentment at the same time. You can't dwell on peace and anxiety simultaneously. The moment you redirect your focus, you rewrite your experience. Dr. David Yonggi Cho, known for his concept of the fourth dimension of faith, said that your mind and words shape your reality. He taught millions that inner paradise begins when you start speaking as if you already live in peace. And neuroscience now backs this up. The brain can't distinguish vividly imagined experiences from real ones. So when you visualize peace, your brain starts wiring it as truth. That's how powerful you are. We live in constant stimulation. Phones buzzing, screens glowing, deadlines looming. Our attention is the new currency and everyone is trying to spend it for us. So if you want to escape the illusion, you need daily mental fasting. Try this. Spend the first 30 minutes of your morning offline. Don't touch your phone. Don't check messages. Instead, connect to yourself. Breathe, read, reflect. You'll notice something incredible. Peace was never gone. It was just buried under notifications. Just like fasting cleanses the body, silence cleanses the soul. When Maya Angelou was a young girl, she stopped speaking for years after trauma. But in her silence, she discovered something sacred. The inner space where healing begins. Later, she would write, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." Her entire life became a living testimony of inner paradise. Not because she avoided pain, but because she transformed it. That's entity creates your reality, Tony Robbins says. The strongest force in the human personality is the need to eat. You change the way you live. Tonight, I want you to do this. Your paradise reflection rituals. List 5 things you chased this year that didn't bring lasting joy. Write 5 inner qualities you wish to strengthen. Peace, patience, love, gratitude, self-respect. For the next week, every time you feel empty, pause and ask, am I chasing something outside that I can cultivate inside? You'll be shocked at how often the answer is yes. The more you practice this awareness, the more peace will become your default state, not an occasional visitor. The outer world follows the inner world. Whatever you cultivate inside, you will eventually harvest outside. That single principle can rebuild your life from the ground up, because paradise isn't built with gold and rivers. It's built with awareness and intention. Every human being carries a sacred space within, a sanctuary untouched by chaos, untouched by fear, but most of us have lost the map. Today, we're going to find it again. Your mind is soil. Every thought is a seed. If you plant seeds of doubt, you grow weeds of fear. If you plant seeds of faith, you grow forests of peace. Tony Robbins calls this conditioning. Whatever you repeatedly focus on, you will feel. Whatever you feel long enough, you will become. So if you want to live in paradise, you must learn the discipline of mental gardening. Pull out the weeds daily. The negative self-talk, the fear of failure, the obsession with control, and water your inner world with gratitude, vision, and service. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe slowly. Can you sense that stillness beneath the noise? That's your inner sanctuary, the one you were born with before the world taught you to hurry. That space, you were not your past, not your mistakes, not your titles, your pure awareness. Peaceful, infinite present. Dr. David Yonggi Cho called this the fourth dimension of faith, the invisible realm where your imagination and belief create tangible reality. He taught that when you see peace inside, speak it with conviction and act in harmony with it. The physical world eventually mirrors that state. In a noisy world, silence is a superpower. Every great innovator, every spiritual master, every visionary, from Albert Einstein to Martin Luther King Jr., had moments of profound stillness before great creation. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of awareness. It's where ideas are born, where wounds are healed, where direction becomes clear. Try this daily. Sit for 5 minutes. Focus on your breath. When thoughts appear, imagine them as clouds passing in a vast blue sky. You don't fight the clouds. You simply let them drift. That's meditation in its purest form. Paradise can't live in a mind trapped by old stories. So it's time to rewrite yours. Maybe your inner voice says, I'm not enough. Replace it with, I am growing, I am guided, I am grounded. This is not false affirmation. I tease neuro-linguistic reprogramming. You are literally rewiring your brain's pathways through repetition and emotion. Tony Robbins often demonstrates this with physical movement and power posing, linking body, breath, and language to anchor a new emotional state. So when you declare your new story, do it with energy. I am peace in motion. I am light walking through challenge. I am paradise unfolding daily. Gratitude is the emotional frequency of paradise. You cannot feel fear and gratitude at the same time. They exist on different wavelengths. Start your mornings with 3 questions. What am I thankful for that I usually take for granted? Who can I appreciate today without expecting anything in return? What challenge can I be grateful for because it's teaching me strength? Neuroscientists at UCLA found that consistent gratitude practice rewires the brain's prefrontal cortex, boosting happiness and reducing anxiety. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's neural architect. Your pleasure fades, purpose fulfills. When your daily actions align with something bigger than yourself, peace becomes automatic. That's what Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, discovered in the darkest conditions imaginable. Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how. Your inner paradise flourishes when your why is clear. Ask yourself, what value am I creating for others today? How can my work, my words, or even my smile contribute to healing? Every act of service polishes the mirror of your soul. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. When you hold resentment, you chain yourself to the past. Forgiveness breaks the chain, not to free them, but to free you. In studies by Stanford's Forgiveness Project, participants who practice sincere release experienced lower blood pressure and greater emotional stability. Forgiveness is not approval of wrongdoing. It's declaring that why our peace is worth more than your pain. Say it out loud. I release this so I can rise. Inner peace isn't just mental, it's biochemical. Your body is the vehicle of your paradise. Simple physiology changes state. Stand tall. Posture signals confidence to the brain. Smile. It releases serotonin even if you don't feel happy yet. Breathe deeply. Oxygenation reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. Tony Robbins calls this changing your state to change your story. Your physical movement can lead your emotions faster than thought. Try the power minute. Jump in place, breathe powerfully, declare your affirmation aloud. You'll feel your inner energy awaken instantly. No one finds paradise alone. Human connection is the mirror that reflects our highest self. When you uplift someone else, you're polishing the window of your own soul. Practice deep listening, the kind where you stop waiting to speak and start hearing to heal. Dr. Cho taught that community, prayer and Visio. Unite individual faith into unstoppable creative force. In neuroscience, this is mirrored by neural resonance. When 2 people share empathy, their brainwaves literally synchronize. Paradise spreads through resonance. One peaceful heart at a time. Consider Oprah Winfrey. Raised in poverty and hardship, she built not just a career, but a culture of empathy. Her morning meditations, gratitude journals, and spiritual dialogues became a global sanctuary for millions. She once said, "The greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change his future by merely changing his attitude." That's the essence of inner paradise. A mindset that transforms every circumstance into a classroom for growth. Morning mind reset. 10 minutes of silence, breath, and gratitude. Affirmation ritual. Speak your identity with energy and posture. Service moment. Do 1 act of kindness consciously. Midday recentering. Pause, stretch, breathe. Evening reflection. Write 3 wins and 1 lesson. Repeat for 30 days. And watch inner calm become your natural baseline. Peace is not found. It's built, it's a muscle you train daily, a choice you reaffirm moment by moment. You already hold the blueprint of paradise inside you. Silence reveals it, gratitude waters it, service expands it, and forgiveness protects it. So stand tall, breathe deep, and step into your day with unshakable calm. You are not seeking paradise, you are becoming it. Every single day, something or someone is trying to trigger you. A delayed message, a rude comment, a bill you didn't expect, and what happens? You react, you tense up, you defend yourself. You get caught in the same emotional storm again. But what if I told you you were never meant to live in reaction? You were born to create. That's not poetic talk, it's neuroscience. Your brain is a pattern machine. Every reaction you repeat becomes a programmed loop. But the moment you pause, breathe, and choose consciously, you rework. Fight that loop. You shift from reaction to creation. That's when life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Tony Robbins puts it like this: the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. And the quality of your emotions comes down to one simple mastery: how you manage your energy in motion, your emotion. We react because our nervous system believes we're in danger. Evolution wired us to fight, flee, or freeze. But here's the twist: your body doesn't know the difference between. a tiger in the jungle, and an email in your inbox. The modern world has hijacked ancient instincts, and unless you train your emotional system, you'll live on autopilot. Defending, comparing, stressing, proving, that's not freedom, that's emotional slavery. But the moment you step back and observe instead of absorb, you become the sculptor of your inner state. You start asking, what story am I telling myself right now? Is this reaction helping me create the life I want? What's the truth beyond the trigger? That's emotional intelligence in action, the foundation of inner paradise. In her early career, Oprah Winfrey faced rejection after rejection. At one point, she was told she wasn't fit for television, that she was too emotional. But instead of reacting with anger or defeat, she turned inward. She chose to use that emotion, to connect with people, to feel deeply, to bring authenticity where others brought scripts. That choice from reaction to creation became the foundation of her global success. She once said, "You cannot change what you refuse to confront." Every challenge that once made her react, she later used to create something new: compassion, empathy, transformation. That's emotional mastery at its highest form. Let's talk about emotional alchemy, the art of transforming low energy emotions into high energy creation. Here's the truth: every emotion has energy. Anger is energy, fear is energy, sadness, jealousy, anxiety, all are energy in disguise. The secret isn't to suppress them, it's to transmute them. Think of emotions as raw electricity. If you don't channel it, it burns. If you channel it, it lights up your world. Dr. David Yonggi Cho, the Korean-American pastor known for his deep spiritual psychology, often taught that thoughts create emotions, and emotions shape outcomes. He said, change your vision and you change your reality. When you shift your emotional energy from frustration to focus, from fear to faith, your outer world mirrors that shift. You can literally code your nervous system to shift from reaction to creation. Emotional reset formula, 3-minute practice. 1, pause, breathe deeply 3 times. 2, name it. I feel angry, sad, anxious. 3, frame it. This emotion is energy. I can use it. 4, move it. Stand up, stretch, shake your hands, change posture. 5, choose it. Ask, what can I create with this energy right now? Try this the next Tim. Something triggers you. The moment you choose creation, your brain releases serotonin and dopamine, replacing stress with focus. That's inner alchemy. Steve Jobs was known for his intensity, sometimes even his temper. But what made him a visionary was his ability to channel that emotional intensity into creation. He said, people think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to 100 other good ideas. Behind that discipline was emotional mastery. Instead of reacting to obstacles, he turned frustration into focus, perfectionism into innovation. Every creative leap Apple made, from the iPod to the iPhone, was born out of emotional energy, refined through awareness. He didn't suppress emotion, he channeled it. That's your blueprint too. Modern psychology calls it neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself. Every time you shift from reaction to creation, you strengthen new knee. Neural pathways of calm, focus, and vision. Over time, peace becomes your default setting. Here's the truth. Most people never realize you don't have to control your emotions, you only have to stop letting them control you. And that starts with awareness. The moment you name the emotion, it loses half its power. The moment you breathe through it, it comes energy for growth. Great leaders are emotional leaders. They don't avoid feelings, they lead through them. Martin Luther King Jr. faced hatred and violence, yet his message remained rooted in love. That's not weakness, that's strength at its purest. He refused to let rage hijack his vision. He turned collective pain into a movement for freedom. That's what emotional mastery looks like when practiced in the real world. Next time you get triggered, don't run from it. Ask, what is this moment trying to teach me? Every trigger is a mirror, showing you what still needs healing. When you face it, breathe through it, and respond with intention. You dissolve it. The trigger becomes a teacher. The pain becomes purpose. The emotion becomes energy for creation. Here's a daily coding mantra you can use to anchor emotional mastery. The creation code, C, center yourself with breath. R, recognize the emotion. E, extract the message. A, accept, don't resist. T, transform the energy. I, initiate a conscious action. O, observe the shift. N, nurture gratitude. Say it aloud or write it daily. It's not just a formula, it's a new way of being. Inner paradise is not about feeling good all the time. It's about feeling everything fully, without losing your center, joy without attachment, sadness without despair, love without possession, peace without escape. That's mastery. That's heaven within When you reach this level, even your tears become sacred. Even your anger becomes creative fuel. Even your silence becomes a song. So here's the truth, my friend. You are not your emotions. Breathe the awareness behind them. You are not your reaction. You are the creator of your response. Every time you choose awareness over impulse, you step closer to paradise. The storm may rage outside, but within, there is a kingdom of stillness. That's your true home. That's where heaven begins. So today, when life tests you, pause, breathe, and whisper to yourself, I am the creator, not the reactor. Because the moment you do, you're casting the future, leaving no airtime for the present. But here's the paradox. It's not hidden. It's just buried under layers of noise, fear, and distraction. And once you learn the science of stillness, you can quiet that storm and return home to the paradise within, the neuroscience of inner peace. Let's get real for a moment. Peace is not luck. It's neurobiology. When you meditate, breathe deeply, or simply stay present, your brain shifts from the beta state, stress, survival, reactivity, into alpha and theta states, calm, creativity, restoration. These slower brain waves allow your body to heal, your emotions to balance, and your intuition to speak. Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it perfectly. When you change your brain waves, you change your state of being. When you change your state of being, you change your life. Stillness, therefore, isn't a passive escape. It's an active recalibration. Every breath, every pause, every moment of silence sends a signal to your nerve. Whose system? You are safe. You are home. And when your body feels safe, your mind stops fighting. We've been programmed to believe peace must be earned, work harder, win more, fix everything. But stillness feels uncomfortable because it challenges that identity. Yet the universe doesn't operate constant movement. It flows through rhythm, day and night, breath in, breath out, sound and silence. Stillness is not the absence of life. It's the balance of it. Albert Einstein once said, I think 99 times and find nothing. I stop thinking, swim in silence, and the truth comes to me. That's not philosophy, that's physics of consciousness. When the thinking mind quiets, the intuitive mind awakens. Eckhart Tolle, now one of the world's leading teachers of mindfulness, once suffered from deep depression and anxiety. One night he said, I cannot live with myself any longer. And suddenly something awakened within him. If I cannot live with myself, then there must be two of me. The I and the self I cannot live with. That simple realization silenced his mind. The thinker disappeared and peace took its place. He didn't find stillness, he simply stopped feeding the noise. From that moment, he lived in a state of inner paradise, teaching millions across the United States and the world to access the same peace through presence. Science now proves what mystics always knew. When you practice stillness through meditation, prayer, or mindful breathing, the structure of your brain physically changes. MRI studies show the default mode network, the overthinking loop, deactivates. In other words, you literally rewire your brain for peace. You build neural highways that favor calm instead of chaos, clarity instead of confusion. This is not spiritual fantasy, it's measurable biology. So when you sit in silence, you're not wasting time, you're upgrading your operating system. Coding example, the stillness protocol. Let's turn this SC, ENS, into daily practice, the stillness protocol, 10-minute daily reset. 1, sit. Find a quiet space, no phone, no agenda. 2, breathe. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale for 6. 3, observe. Let thoughts pass like clouds. No judgment. 4, feel, sense your heartbeat, your breath, the space around you. 5, stay present in that still awareness for 10 minutes. This simple 10-minute practice rewires your brain for stability and serenity. Over time, your default state becomes peace, not panic. Dr. David Yonggi Cho, whose life's work bridged faith and neuroscience, once said, the Holy Spirit speaks in stillness, not in the storm. Stillness isn't just mental calm. It's spiritual alignment. When your mind is quiet, your soul can finally be heard. In that space, inspiration arrives, ideas unfold, healing begins. That's why almost every great leader, from Martin Luther King Jr. to Nelson Mandela, practiced solitude. They knew leadership without STI. Illness is chaos. Creation without silence is noise. John Mackey, co-founder of Whole Foods Market, once said he built his entire leadership philosophy on daily meditation. In the chaos of running a billion-dollar business, he began every morning in silence. He described it this way: stillness is the most productive part of my day. It's where I make the best decisions. Why? Because when the noise settles, intuition speaks. And intuition, not intellect, is the compass of true success. Truths, stillness collapses time. It brings you back to the eternal now, the only place paradise exists. Here's a practice you can try anytime, anywhere. The moment of now, 60-second grounding. Stop whatever you're doing. Look around. Name 3 things you can see. Feel your feet on the floor. Take 1 slow breath. Whisper internally, this moment is enough. 1 minute of presence can reset an entire day of anxiety. Stillness doesn't require a mountain or a monastery, just a minute of mindfulness. You might ask, how can I stay peaceful when the world is falling apart? The answer isn't detachment, it's depth. The deeper your stillness, the stronger your response to chaos. Stillness doesn't make you passive, it makes you powerful. When your inner world is calm, you respond instead of react. You create instead of complain. You become a stabilizing force, a lighthouse in the storm. That's how real change begins. Not through anger, but through awareness. As you deepen your stillness practice, something extraordinary happens. You begin to realize that peace isn't something you achieve. It's what you are. When the waves of thought settle, you see the sky of consciousness beneath. Vast, infinite, and untouched. That's paradise. That's what saints, mystics, and modern psychologists are all pointing toward. You are not the noise. You are the stillness between the notes. You are the silence behind the sound. So my friend, I want you to remember this. You don't have to go anywhere to find paradise. You just have to be still long enough to feel it. Stillness is not the reward. It's the doorway. And on the other side of that doorway is freedom, clarity, and divine connection. So tonight, when the world grows quiet, turn off the screen, slow your breath, and listen. Because in that silence, you'll hear the whisper of your soul saying, welcome home.